The mouse and the clock. Tick-tock. Tick-tock. The sound echoed through the old house, reverberating off the walls in a rhythmic dance. But to one small mouse, the ticking was more than just a sound. It was a challenge, a game. And in his mind, it was a race. In the corner of the grand living room stood a towering grandfather clock, its brass hands glinting in the dim light of the setting sun. To any other creature, it was a simple, ancient timekeeper. But to this mouse, whose life was a constant blur of movement, scurrying here and there, it was the perfect opponent. Every day, the mouse would sit at the base of the clock, watching the hands tick past each hour, each minute. He had learned its rhythm by heart, and soon an idea formed. What if he could outrun the clock? What if he could race the hands themselves? With a twitch of his whiskers, the mouse took off, his tiny feet scrambling up the wooden frame, climbing higher and higher, his eyes fixed on the moving hands. He was quick enough, he thought, to win this race. His tiny heart pounded with excitement as he watched the minute hands sweep closer and closer to the next hour. Every time the clock ticked, he sprinted, trying to catch up. His small paws moved faster, his breath quickening, adrenaline coursing through him. The clock's tick-tock was his only guide, and the challenge was irresistible. He had to win. It was not just a race, it was a battle against time itself. But as the minutes passed and the seconds sped by, the mouse realized something troubling. No matter how fast he ran, no matter how hard he tried, the hands were always just a little ahead. They never slowed, never paused. His tiny legs grew tired, and his heart began to race not with excitement, but with frustration. Why couldn't he catch up? What was wrong? The more he tried, the more he realized the truth. This wasn't a race he could win. The hands of the clock were not meant to be outrun. They weren't there to be beaten. They were simply there. They were time itself. In that moment, the mouse paused, standing still at the very top of the clock's frame. The world around him seemed to hold its breath. The clock ticked, but he no longer felt the need to chase it. He could feel the weight of time settling around him, not as an enemy, but as something that was always moving, always constant. Time didn't need to be beaten, it only needed to be understood. The mouse sat, watching the hands move, no longer in competition. With a sigh, he allowed himself to relax. For the first time, he wasn't trying to control the ticking of time. He was simply a part of it. As the clock continued its steady tick-tock, the mouse reflected on his race. Sometimes he thought, we spend so much of our lives chasing after things that seem just out of reach. But in the end, maybe it's not about winning the race. It's about learning to live with the flow of time, understanding it, and finding peace with its constant movement. Tick-tock, tick-tock. The hands of the clock moved on, but the mouse was no longer chasing them. He had learned that some things, like time itself, are beyond control. If you enjoyed this story, make sure to like, share, and subscribe for more stories that captivate and inspire. Thank you for listening.